Hi everyone! Today we are talking about my book recommendations for people who are really interested in learning about angels and demons. I know a lot of people might hear that and they'll be like, oh, that's so spooky, why would you talk about demons? But like, it's cool to learn about. But we're going to start off with the angel books first because I only have like 3 books on angels. So getting right into it, Angels, Traditions, Stories, and Miracles. I've mentioned before how I liked this series because they take one topic and then just deep dive into it. For example, mermaids, dragons, unicorns. This book is angels. And I really like it because it discusses not just your stereotypical angels, but also angels that we don't really hear about. Like, for example, the one that's like a flying eye that says, "Be not afraid." I also just liked these stories they included regarding angels, and in this book, they did mention a little bit of information about how once Christianity like took over, the Greek and Roman gods like all went to hell, and I'm like, that is so weird. But basically, if you want to learn about angels and more stories regarding what angels are and what they do, the hierarchy of angels, and if you want some information regarding the belief systems that angels might be a part of, this book has it. Moving on, we got the Complete Encyclopedia of Angels, a guide to 200 celestial beings. This book not only has angels, but it also has gods in it, like Egyptian gods. Lilith is in this book, which I really appreciate because they're like, here's how to use Lilith to help you. Meanwhile, other books are like, Lilith is a demon, you know? This book really does kind of teach you to see the good in literally everybody. But basically, this book teaches you who is who in the belief system, what they are meant to help you with, and how you could, I guess, like, invite them into your life to get them to protect you. But lastly, for the angel books, I have Dictionary of Angels, including the Fallen Ones. This book is a huge dictionary on angels, and I believe it includes angels that are also not from the Christian religion, so you get angels from literally any religion that is included in this book, which I really, really appreciate. Because in case you did not know, there is angels in other religions besides Christianity. There's also demons from other religions as well. But anyway, that is it for the angel books. Now let's move on to the demonology books. So first of all, we have the Encyclopedia of Demons and Demonology. I really like this book because it has stories I literally never heard about. When I got it, I was kind of creeped out because of the images, and also a lot of the stories are just so sinister. It's just really, really interesting, and it mentions demons from a variety of religions. It also mentions possessions and exorcisms, which I find kind of creepy, but it is a demonology book, so don't be surprised if you get creeped out. Moving on, we have Demonology, Sorting Fact from Fiction, a field guide of demons and Christianity. See, I like this book. I really, really do, but I think it is problematic. There is a section that says possession or mental illness, and although I think possessions can technically happen, I don't think it's really fair to just assume that people are possessed. Like, for example, I have mental illness problems, and people have said to me before, I think you're possessed. And I'm like, no, Karen, I need a psychiatrist. There's a difference. I think the author also mentioned how somebody in her life developed dementia, and they were like, that's how I knew the demon stepped in. I'm like, okay, wait, hold up. Like, just because somebody got dementia doesn't mean there's demons involved. It could just mean that they had it in their genes or they were prone to developing it. Like, I don't think it's really safe to just assume everything is religious in some way or demonic in some way. I just don't think it's really that okay. There are times where the author says how it could just be mental illness causing issues, no demons at all. But I'm really worried that somebody might read books about demonology and just assume that any physical or mental problem is because of demons, and that's not true. But moving on, Evil Archaeology. When I saw this book, I wanted to buy it immediately because I think it's so cool that we have a book dedicated to the creepy things that have been found over the years. It isn't really a picture book, but it really does go in depth to the things that have been found and what they might mean, like amulets or relics, statues that were found. Moving on, I have the Encyclopedia of the Unseen World, because a lot of people, when they mention angels and demons, they also mention stuff like ghosts or spirits of some sorts. It's a really good dictionary for just learning the meanings of things that are in the unseen world, obviously. And because we are on like the ghost kind of topic, if you read a lot of demonology books, like a lot of people, even outside of demonology books, like on TV shows, whenever like a toy moves by itself or a doll talks by itself and it doesn't do that. Like, for example, Robert the doll, Annabelle, people immediately assume it's a possession. And after reading a few demonology books or whatever, it really does look like demons can possess objects. So in case if that is true, you might be interested in learning about the Cursed Objects book. Strange but true stories of the world's most infamous items. I love the book because it is just so nicely made. I really appreciate how it is made. It's so, really good quality. It's organized very, very well. And it gives a little deep dive into every possessed object they want it to mention. Or at least cursed objects. Alongside that, I also have the book Haunted Toys. It's just a really creepy book if you want to stay up late and then creep yourself out because you want to read about somebody who bought a doll and it was possessed. And next up, we can't move on without talking about the places where demons come from, which is literally hell, depending on what religion you're part of. But on Black Friday, I picked up Dante's Inferno, the illustrated edition, because I think it's so interesting how hell is talked about in different stories. The way people describe how it looks or how things go on down there. It's just so interesting to me. Like, it's just so crazy. The monsters people see, the demons, and the stories about anything there just is so cool to talk about. I used to be really scared to talk about things like that because I was like, ooh, it's scary, it's demonic. But like once you get used to reading about it, although it is technically still scary and creepy, you become less afraid of it. I just love learning about the mythology regarding these really weird places that apparently do exist, like hell or heaven. And one of my favorites, The Devil's Atlas, an explorer's guide to heavens, hells, and afterworlds. This book is extremely illustrated, and it just dives into any information there has ever been about what hell might look like, what heaven might look like, what's there, who is there. It's just so cool to learn about. A lot of people, when they picture hell, they think of this like fiery pit that's like literally in the center of earth, like it's just down, 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 down. And although that is kind of scary enough, it's just so interesting to learn about what a lot of people have to say about it, because different religions and different mythologies have different stories about what happens in hell. And it's just really, really cool to learn about. Of course, they also talk about heaven and other heavens, afterworlds too. It's just so cool with the illustrations and how it's written. It's just a really, really good book, and it's exactly what I've been looking for, because I have always wanted a book that deep dives into what heaven and hell really is. So this really does fulfill that craving of wanting a book that discusses those topics. I'm editing right now, and I forgot to mention Death and the Afterlife, a chronological journey from cremation to resurrection. This book is really good. It just is a timeline of humans and how they have viewed death and life over the years. It's illustrated. It is one page per each topic. It's really straight to the point. And I really like learning about topics regarding death and things like this, because I feel like the more you learn about it, the less scared you become of it. And also, as a person who's into writing, learning about these dark topics is just so inspirational. I don't know what it is. It's just, it gets your mind thinking. And lastly, before we go, I have Strange Beliefs, Customs, and Superstitions of New England. I got this while walking around Salem, and It's not my favorite book. It's not a book I usually recommend, but like if you want something spooky, superstitions, I guess you could look into getting it. I also got the Book of Halloween, the origin and history of Halloween, because I love Halloween. I really, really do. And it's just really cool to see how Halloween became to be and how it developed and all that. So yeah, that is it. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!